Hey, this is Matt once again. We're about to have videos, another paid request, this time from Eelco. Thank you so much for that. And for those interested in requesting any type of videos or topics, reactions, commentaries, reviews, re-reviews, what have you, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box. And this is for the film Wind River from 2017. Now, it's directed by Taylor Sheridan, who I believe wrote the first Sicario, which I liked. And I think he directed that Angelina Jolie film, Things We Wish We Were Dead. I forget the title. It was her protecting this boy. It was in the forest, and there was some really bad CGI fire. Wasn't really big on that film, but I've seen this film before, and just like when I first saw it, I really enjoy this movie. It's not an action-packed film. It's not the thrilling paced car chases, but it's a very well made, beautiful looking. Don't want to call it an action film because it's not that. Bit of mystery, drama. There's some little bit of action at the end, some satisfying bits, I should say. And it's beautiful photography. It takes place in Wyoming, in particular the Indian reservation in Wyoming. Jeremy Renner, who I do like as an actor, he does a really good job as this fish and wildlife game agent who at one point he's looking at tracks and he's trying to look for these mountain lions or killing some steers. One thing leads to another as he's tracking them, and he finds this dead body of this woman, this Native American woman, frozen, and apparently she was running barefoot, so something was up, of course, against this frozen tundra, and it got to a point that her lungs literally froze, burst, coughing up blood, and she died. So he talks to the Native American agents there. One of them is Graham Greene, who plays a cop. Graham Greene, I've seen him quite a bit of stuff. He was a Dyer with a Vengeance. He was one of the cops helping the kids get out of the school with the bomb threat. We can't just stay with our thumbs up our asses. He was in Dances with Wolves. He was in Thunderheart with Val Kilmer. Been quite a few stuff. If you see his face, you'd be like, I know that guy. So it's nice that he's in this. And ultimately, you get one FBI agent that comes by, played by Elizabeth Olsen. So yeah, you get a bit of a Marvel connection. Hawkeye and the Scarlet Witch. But Elizabeth Olsen I like a lot more here than, for example, Doctor Strange 2 instead of the Scarlet Witch, or WandaVision, where you tell she's in over her head, but you can also tell she means well, and she wants to find out what happened with it, despite some of the bureaucracy involved where she can't get any other agents down here, but she still wants this to be a priority, at least for herself. And she needs help, so she gets Jeremy Renner's help, who knows the area. He's a hunter, he knows how to track. And lo and behold, no bullshit about sexual politics and men and women and I don't need help from a man and none of that. Just a good old-fashioned story, fairly well told. With, like I said, beautiful landscapes. The wide shots of the snowy landscape, and at times where you have this stormy weather. It brings a great atmosphere and feel to the proceedings of this murder mystery happening. And you get some nice backstory in Jeremy Renner, where he is comforting this guy who lost his daughter, because he himself has lost his daughter as well, to not the same but similar circumstances. So that's why he's not really with his wife anymore, and he sees his son every once in a while. He did enough of that, but not too much to deride from the mystery at hand. I say mystery, but more like the drama thrill. How you want to incorporate it, how you want to, whatever genre, subgenre you will put it into. It doesn't focus too much on that to get away from the primary story, which I appreciate. There are times with the dialogue music that it does approach a bit of melodrama. Once in a while, there's a time where the dialogue is being said that you sit there going, no one would really talk like this in real life. It was almost as if, let me write this to be much more, not Oscar baity, but and not a pretentious air, but like you're piling on a little bit thick with a couple of these dialogue changes. But thankfully, it rides the line and doesn't go too far into that, and still is fairly focused on the story and does a really good job with the acting with the characters. I like the bits between Jeremy Renner and Elizabeth Olsen. They don't go for a typical. They're all of a sudden in love with each other like some movies do. Again, they don't go with the I don't need help from a man, all that bullshit. She needs answers and asks him, and he's willing to offer. She's asking questions of how far could this lady have run, and as he puts it, how do you gauge someone's will to live? I knew this lady, and she was a fighter. She was a warrior. She, however long you think, and however far you think she could have gone, think even farther. So you get some nice bits between Renner and the dead girl's dad because they both know the feeling. Again, you do a couple little, I say a couple like maybe two or so little shootouts. So it's not wall action. There's a bit where they check in on that dead girl's brother, and there's other guys there. There's a little bit of a shootout. Some nice moments with Jeremy Renner. There's bits where he's just waiting there with a shovel and smacks these guys in the face. Very cool, calm, collected Jeremy Renner. He's a bit of a badass in this. And again, I like the actor. I'm glad he's doing better after the accident that happened to him. Because I do like him as an actor. I liked him in The Hurt Locker. I liked him in The Town. I liked him in Hawkeye in Avengers Age of Ultron. And I didn't buy it with the TV show because why does he need this fucking other lady to be another wannabe Hawkeye? Like, just have Hawkeye be Hawkeye on his own fucking show. Like, why do we need this other person here? Why does he need a sidekick? Or whatever the fuck she is? I don't know. Just asking. And ultimately, it comes down to this drill station that something may have happened. Oh, John Bernthal is in the film as well, although it's just in flashbacks. He's the guy who was the dead girl's boyfriend. John Bernthal, of course, was the Punisher on, speaking of Marvel, the Punisher on the Netflix show. That was, what, 2 or so seasons? He was on Daredevil Season 2. John Bernthal, of course, been in a lot of other stuff. Grudge Match, where I think he played Robert De Niro's son in that. Grudge Match, God. Almost forgot about that movie. Awful film with Stallone and Robert De Niro. But yeah, John Bernthal I like as an actor. So, he's not in this a lot, but still nice to see him in there. Like I said, the movie has a quiet melancholy to it for a lot of scenes. Like I said, sometimes the music wasn't bad, but sometimes that and the dialogue, which, like I said, not too much to be too out of place, to be too in your face. I'm trying to think of the right word to use. To be too distracting. That's the word. To be too distracting. But some nice quiet performances by Jeremy Renner, Elizabeth Olsen. Like I said, really good looking landscape. like I said, a nice quiet melancholy to the proceedings. And then again to the spoilers, heavy spoilers. They get to this drill station. There's these guys there, and you come to find out via flashbacks that John Bernthal and this girl were together. John Bernthal worked as a security guard. These other guys came in, started a fight. Fighting John Bernthal defending himself, but then they're smacking him and they assault and rape the girl. They beat John Bernthal to death. She made a run for it, and she died there. Now, in the present time, Jeremy Renner's kind of looking at the perimeter, but Graham Greene and Elizabeth Olsen, some other cops are there. One of the cops realized, wait a minute, you flanking me? You flanking me? They pulled guns on each other. So I thought the director did a nice job of tension, of, you know something's bad going to happen, but when is it going to happen is the question. And then the shootout breaks out and they're just pretty much trying to shoot each other. Which I guess in realistic, I've heard that unlike movies, people are not great shots in real life. So this came off as like a little bit more realistic. The way they're trying to shoot at each other and don't have the best aim, but they're still hitting each other in the arm or the leg or something. Elizabeth Olsen gets shot in the chest, but she was wearing like a flat jacket. And then Jeremy Renner gets to be a badass. Has a sniper rifle. Takes like 3 guys down. Gets Elizabeth Olsen. Comforts her. Hey, here's a radio. You get some help. And I liked even a little bit here where you go after him. And Renner's pretty much saying that I'm not going to be catching him. That she's like, I know. Just go get him. And thus Jeremy Renner goes after the guy and gets the guy. I did like this whole scene here. Number one, I said spoilers. It's kind of like Jeremy Renner able to deal with his own demons because he was never able to find the guy who killed his daughter, but he's able to find this guy who killed this guy's daughter. So in a way, it's kind of like him working out, like I said, his own demons, but also getting revenge on this scum sucker that deserves it. Took the guy's shoes off. Says, "Listen," and just the way Jeremy Renner plays is so cool, and so just again calm and collected. Okay. Why don't you be honest with me? Okay, you be honest with me. I'm gonna give you a chance. Okay, I'm telling you, man. The guy being an asshole, he's honest. He's okay. No, don't hurt me, man. No, I'm gonna let you go, man. Well, where am I supposed to go? What am I supposed to do? I want you to run. And he shoots right next to the guy's ear. So he runs, and of course this guy, not being a fighter, not being a warrior, he doesn't make it too far. And he goes through the same painful, lung-freezing death that the girl went through. So I thought that was a satisfying payoff. A nice payoff. Nice bit between. It's sad that Graham Greene's character gets killed, because I like Graham Greene. And the movie never says that he survived, so I didn't like that. I don't think you need to. There's enough people that get killed off. You didn't need to kill him off. So I didn't like that bit. Just a little nitpick. But, nice bit where he goes see the guy. Although the guy could have told Jeremy Renner thank you, because when they first see each other, I get the guy lost his daughter, but he's also being a little bit of a prick, where at the end of it he's like, what are you going to do about it? I'm a hunter. Then get off my porch and do it. It's like, well, dude, he doesn't have to do shit, honestly. He doesn't owe you nothing. He doesn't owe you shit. And now that he did it, I think a little thank you could be in order. But I did like the bit where, they have a little bit of conversation. He's like, you got time to sit with me? Got all the time in the world. And they're kind of sitting next to each other. So, but overall, like I say, it's a nicely done, nicely made movie. It's a good looking film, wonderful photography, pretty solid performances. Well worth your time if you like Jeremy Renner, if you like these kind of movies. If I haven't seen the trailers, I don't know if the trailer gives everything away, but just good old fashioned story that, again, when it looks good and the acting is good and the story is straightforward enough, doesn't go into too many unnecessary subplots, has a little bit of family drama, but not enough to take away from the main focus, but enough there to make me care and give a shit. One of Jeremy Renner's better performances, and I would say Elizabeth Olsen's best performance. Pretty good stuff. This is kind of what Whiteout should have been. That, the other day I was doing a stream and someone was mentioning this movie Whiteout with Kate Beckinsale, which I thought was a piece of shit. That's what this movie should have been. I mean, no, take that back. That movie's that movie should have been this movie. Is what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm listening. Oh my god, Whiteout! I got the Whiteout in the brain. Oh my god, man. That movie's so shitty. It took a Whiteout. I got a brain freeze. This movie's good. This is what Whiteout should have been. Whiteout should have been like this movie in terms of this. It's a good fucking movie, and Whiteout sucks ass. Okay, I just ended there since I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. It's early, but it's late. Wind River, I did like it. So, with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.